Every year, countless people vanish without a trace. No ransom notes. No suspects. No explanations. Just a void, one that swallows families whole and leaves entire towns haunted by questions that will never be answered. Today, we're diving deep into the most worrisome disappearances, cases that defy logic, twist reality, and leave investigators second-guessing everything they thought they knew. Before we begin, make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications, because the stories you're about to hear will keep you up to night. In the summer of 2017, 29-year-old Lena Ward set out to hike the Pine Hollow Trail, a popular mountain route in Oregon known for its panoramic views and hidden waterfalls. Lena was an experienced hiker, the kind of person who double-checked maps, packed backup batteries, and always texted her mother when she reached the trailhead. That morning, she did everything right. Her car was found neatly parked, backpack missing, suggesting she had made it onto the trail. A few hikers remembered seeing her around noon, smiling, camera slung around her neck. One described her as confident, moving quickly, like she knew exactly where she was going. But when sunset came, and she still hadn't returned, a search was launched. For 5 days, rescuers scoured Pine Hollow. Helicopters, dogs, drones, all found nothing. Then, on day 6, they discovered her camera wedged between rocks near a stream. The final photo showed Lena standing at the edge of a cliff, behind her, a gray mist rolling in fast. No body. No tracks. No signs of struggle. Just one haunting frame that seemed to swallow her whole. To this day, hikers report strange whispers echoing through the valley where she disappeared. Some swear they've seen a lone figure standing near the ledge, her outline fading when approached. On April 9, 2004, the Davenport family, Michael, his wife Claire, and their 2 children, left their suburban home in Reno, Nevada, for what was supposed to be a quick weekend getaway to Lake Tahoe. They never arrived. Security cameras captured their silver minivan leaving the city around 6:45 p.m. The vehicle was seen once more on a gas station camera 40 miles out, Claire buying snacks, the kids laughing in the back seat. Everything seemed normal. By midnight, the Davenports were reported missing. Search teams combed every route between Reno and Tahoe, but no skid marks, debris, or tire impressions were ever found. It was as if their vehicle had simply dissolved into thin air. Weeks later, a trucker reported seeing a flicker of headlights deep in the desert, along a closed service road known for old mining tunnels. When police searched the area, they discovered a half-buried road sign, bent, with the words barely legible, "Dead End." No car. No footprints. Just silence stretching for miles. In 2013, a hiker exploring that same region stumbled across a child's shoe, small, pink, with a faded cartoon character printed on the side. DNA testing was inconclusive, degraded by time and desert heat. To this day, the Davenport disappearance is one of Nevada's coldest mysteries, a perfect vanishing act in a place where there's nowhere to hide. In August 2009, 17-year-old Ethan Cole joined 3 friends for a weekend camping trip in Maple Creek Forest, Pennsylvania, a sprawling park famous for its thick canopy and echoing ravines. The group set up their tents near a riverbank and spent the first night roasting marshmallows, filming silly videos, and playing music under the stars. Everything seemed fine until the next morning. When the others woke up, Ethan's tent was unzipped, his shoes still inside, his sleeping bag empty. There were no footprints leading away, only the soft imprint of someone standing motionless for a while, as if listening to something in the dark. The local sheriff organized a massive search. Bloodhounds picked up Ethan's scent for nearly half a mile, then lost it near an old stone bridge known locally as the Whisper Gate. Older residents said the place was cursed, that voices called your name there, mimicking someone you loved. Ethan's friends were interrogated for weeks. Their phones were seized, their campsite inspected down to the smallest twig. They were eventually cleared, though one friend confessed that the night before, Ethan had mentioned hearing a woman crying in the woods, begging for help. To this day, campers still find small items near the Whisper Gate, a watch, a phone, even a single hiking boot, all rusted and half-buried, as if the forest occasionally gives back what it takes. In September 2012, just hours before she was supposed to walk down the aisle, Marissa Hale, a 26-year-old nurse from Charleston, South Carolina, disappeared without a trace. The morning had been perfect. Bridesmaids posted photos online of Marissa smiling in her silk robe, makeup done, holding a glass of champagne. Around noon, she told them she was stepping out for just a minute to take a private call. That was the last time anyone saw her. Her phone was later found on the back seat of her car, engine still running in the parking lot behind the church. The caller she'd gone to answer was never identified. The number had been purchased through a disposable SIM card. Investigators initially suspected cold feet, that she'd run away. But then, they found her wedding shoes neatly placed by the water's edge near the Ashley River, alongside a half-written note that simply read, "I didn't want this. I wanted the truth." The note was confirmed to be in her handwriting, but the ink pattern suggested hesitation, as if she was interrupted mid-sentence. Her fiancé, Evan, was questioned extensively. He maintained his innocence, yet text messages between the two revealed a chilling detail. Marissa had accused him of keeping secrets about a woman named T. To this day, no trace of Marissa's body or belongings has ever been recovered from the river. Each year on her wedding anniversary, someone leaves a single white rose at the same spot, but no one's ever been seen doing it. In March 2015, Harold Mason, a 54-year-old fisherman from Kodiak, Alaska, set out alone for what he called a quiet weekend on the water. Harold was a seasoned sailor, cautious, disciplined, the kind of man who kept weather logs and checked in with the harbormaster before every trip. That Friday morning, the skies were calm. Harold radioed in around 10:13 a.m. to say he was approaching the edge of Haven Sound, a notoriously deep fjord surrounded by cliffs. His last words over the radio were simple. "There's something strange out here. Looks like a flare, but it's under the water." Hours later, a passing vessel found Harold's boat drifting aimlessly, the engine still humming. Inside, everything was undisturbed, coffee still warm, life jacket neatly folded on the seat, GPS frozen mid-signal. But there was no sign of Harold. The Coast Guard launched an immediate search. Sonar scans detected an unusual metallic object about 300 feet below the surface, but when divers went down, there was nothing there. The reading vanished from the radar, like a shadow that refused to stay still. Locals still talk about the red light, a flickering glow seen beneath the waves on foggy nights. Some say it's a malfunctioning beacon. Others swear it moves, rising and sinking like it's searching for something, or someone. Harold Mason remains missing to this day, another life claimed by the endless dark beneath the northern sea. In October 2018, Nora Fletcher, a 21-year-old college student from Portland, Oregon, vanished after leaving class one ordinary Thursday afternoon. She was majoring in forensic psychology. Ironic, given that her own disappearance would become a case that baffled even the experts she once studied under. Security footage showed Nora exiting the campus library at 5:47 p.m., backpack slung over one shoulder, texting as she walked. Her roommate said she'd received a short voice message from Nora at 6:02 p.m., one that lasted only 5 seconds. "If I don't come back, tell them it wasn't an accident." The voice was shaky, distant, wind howling in the background. GPS data placed Nora's phone on Old Brook Road, a route that runs through dense woodland, rarely used after dark. When police arrived 30 minutes later, her car was found parked at the roadside, driver's door open, hazard lights flashing. Inside, her phone sat on the dashboard, still recording. The audio captured a faint tapping sound, then a single line of Nora's voice whispering, "He's not who he says he is." Authorities combed the area for days, bringing in cadaver dogs and search teams. Nothing. No signs of struggle, no tracks, no witnesses. Months later, a park ranger found a postcard wedged between branches 2 miles from the site. On it, written in Nora's handwriting, were the words, "Do not look for me. He will find you too." To this day, no one knows who he was, or how the message got there. In January 1996, the small Appalachian town of Cedar Hollow woke up to find their only physician, Dr. Walter Briggs, gone, along with every single record from his medical practice. The night before, the doctor had attended a town meeting, taking notes as residents complained of the water tasting like metal. He promised to test the wells himself the next morning. He never showed up. When deputies searched his home, they found his truck still in the driveway, coffee mug half full, and the front door unlocked. Every file in his study cabinet was missing, thousands of medical documents simply gone. The strangest detail: his calendar had the following day circled in red ink, with 3 letters written beside it, NDA. The town's residents whispered theories: government cover-ups, chemical spills, even abductions. Weeks later, a state environmental officer visited Cedar Hollow to test the water. Within 48 hours, he too disappeared, his rental car found parked outside the doctor's clinic, keys still in the ignition. Years later, hikers exploring the woods near the old water plant discovered a medical ID badge belonging to Dr. Briggs. It was scorched around the edges, melted as if exposed to extreme heat. Locals now say that when the fog rolls in from the valley, you can hear a voice whispering from the old well, "I told you not to drink it." In May 2003, Caleb Monroe, a 33-year-old freelance photographer, was traveling across Arizona for a project he called Abandoned America, a photo series documenting forgotten towns and derelict structures lost to time. He posted his final update on a photography forum on May 17th, writing, "Heading toward Canyon Ridge tomorrow. Locals say it's cursed. I say that means good photos." That was the last anyone ever heard from him. 2 days later, park rangers found his Jeep Wrangler parked beside a decaying gas station, keys in the ignition, doors locked. Inside were neatly arranged rolls of undeveloped film, his camera bag, and a half-written note taped to the steering wheel. "If anyone finds this, do not follow the road past the billboard." The following week, when police developed the film, the last few frames showed something strange. Photos of an empty desert road at sunset, leading toward a weathered billboard that read, "Welcome to Canyon Ridge, population 43." In the final photo, taken seconds later, the billboard was gone. A satellite scan later confirmed what no one wanted to believe. There was no record of any settlement named Canyon Ridge in Arizona's archives. Not now, not ever. Every so often, hikers in the area report stumbling across a rusted camera tripod half buried in sand, as if waiting for its photographer to return. In November 2019, 32-year-old Rachel Lynn, a software engineer living in Seattle, disappeared after security cameras captured her entering, and then inexplicably exiting, an apartment building's elevator at 2:37 a.m. Rachel lived alone on the 9th floor. The footage showed her pressing the elevator buttons repeatedly, stepping in and out as if confused, glancing over her shoulder like someone was following her. When the doors closed for the final time, she wasn't inside. She never made it to her floor. Building staff reviewed every second of footage: hallways, stairwells, lobby, parking garage. She never reappeared. No one was seen entering or leaving the building during the time of her disappearance. Police later discovered her phone in her apartment, screen cracked, displaying an unfinished text to her sister that read, "He's in the walls." The only other clue came from a neighbor who claimed to have heard tapping through the vents that night, "too rhythmic to be the pipes," she said. Maintenance workers later confirmed that one vent shaft had been bolted shut from the inside. When officers pried it open, they found nothing but dust and a faint chemical smell. Rachel Lynn was never found. Her apartment has since remained vacant, yet new tenants in the building say that sometimes, after midnight, the elevator still stops at the 9th floor even when no one has called it. In February 1982, the tiny mining town of Cold River, Montana, population 137, simply ceased to exist. State workers passing through the valley reported empty streets, homes left unlocked, dinners half-eaten on tables, radios still playing static in the background. But there wasn't a single person anywhere. Authorities assumed a mass evacuation had occurred, maybe a toxic spill, maybe a gas leak. But the surrounding air and water tested clean. No chemical traces. No signs of panic or struggle. Every car remained parked. Every pet was missing. Clocks in the entire town had stopped at exactly 2:14 a.m. The last known communication came from the sheriff's office radio, a transmission recorded hours before. "If anyone's out there, don't come this way. The fog isn't weather, it's... Then silence. When investigators finally moved deeper into the valley, they found something stranger still. Cold River's welcome sign was gone. Not broken or fallen, just missing, its posts cleanly sawed off at the base. The government eventually sealed the area off, citing environmental instability. But satellite imagery shows that the town still stands, intact, untouched, and eerily preserved. No one has lived there since. And no one who's entered after dark has ever returned. Sometimes, the most frightening part of a disappearance isn't the silence that follows. It's the questions that never find answers. These cases remind us that people can vanish from highways, homes, or even entire towns, without warning, without reason. If you found this story haunting, remember to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications, because every week we uncover the most unsettling mysteries the world refuses to explain. Until next time, keep your lights on, and if you ever feel someone watching from the dark, don't turn around too quickly.